we have Chad LaRose joining us. Name on the Stanley Cup and all that. All right, sir. Your mood, your vibe, your feeling going into Game 1 tonight.
Oh man, how you guys doing? I got a great mood. I'm excited for it. I think Carolina's they play that way. They always play, and I think I'm really excited. I mean, you get to this point, 4 teams left. I mean, it's a great honor, and now you're looking forward to starting the series.
You've been through this type of thing twice, where you get this far.
Yep.
Is there a difference between the second round and the conference finals in terms of anticipation, or is it just a playoff game?
I think when you're in the mode, it's a playoff game, but I mean, we don't really look into the future much when we're playing. But knowing that there's only four teams left. One year we were the last team to go in. My second time when we had to play Boston in Game 7, and Pittsburgh beat the night before. I remember being in the hotel room with Staal watching that one. And they beat up on Washington. But I mean, it's a recognition, but I mean, the job at hand is really what you're looking at, right? You want to start the series off well. A lot of tactical stuff I'm sure will be going on behind the scenes, and I mean, it's exciting, right? I mean, you play all year to get here. If any one of these teams starts the year and says, "Hey, we're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals," we'll take that, right? Then we'll go from there when we get there.
Chad LaRose is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Do the butterflies or nervous energy, does it increase as the playoffs increase, or does it just become normal, natural?
I think more normal and natural. I don't remember overwhelming nerves or anything like that when I was playing, but I mean, it's exciting, right? But you know the task at hand, and Game 1's a big game, right? But also you don't put too much on it when you're in the mix of it, right? Whether you win, you're even keel, and if you lose, you stay even keel, right? You're not overly jumping off ledges or anything like that, or jumping for joy. So, all
right, Chad LaRose is joining us here in your 2 playoff runs. Very different, right? You talk about getting in toward the end of the regular season. I know it was a hot streak and all that, and you start on the road versus starting at home. What are the differences for you between starting at home and starting on the road?
I mean, I think playing at home is much better to start. It has both of its ways, right? You feel no pressure on the road,
right?
But also at home in Carolina, you really don't feel any pressure because their fans are so good, right? A place like Toronto, I mean, there's pressure galore on those guys, and I think that helps Carolina because I mean, we need the fans there, right? I mean, they give you that extra energy. So, I mean, and knowing that if it's a long series, you got the home ice advantage. You have to protect it, but also you have your routine. You're in your own bed. You've been watching those series before. So I think those things will benefit us and benefit Carolina. And I would rather start at home, right? I mean, that means I got a better record and I get 4 games at home if I need them.
Right. And that home ice advantage, yeah, it's a little bit about the start, but it's really about potentially the end, where if you get through the first 4 games and it's 2-2, 2 out of the next 3 are on your ice. 4 days off, is that the perfect amount of time off?
I mean, I think for teams-wise, depending. I mean, I know that their coaching staff in Carolina has them ready. They're doing the right things. They were preparing for 2 days off. They were preparing for 3, and they're preparing for 4. So, I think they're rested. I think nicks and bruises got a little extra rest, and I mean, you just got to, I'm sure they're jumping out of their shoes to get this game started, and I think we're going to see that in the first 5 to 10 minutes of this game.
I spoke to Jordan Martinook today, and in the first few years with Carolina, he was like an injury walk-in. He had so many things that he was dealing with and still managed to stay in the lineup, but you could tell when a guy is playing somewhat compromised. But over the last several years, he's basically, as much as he could, basically stayed healthy. And I asked him today, and I know he's been dealing with a few things, and I'm not asking for specifics, but I asked him today, I know you've been dealing with some stuff, but how would you consider yourself going into the game? He goes, at game time, I will be 100%.
Love it. Love it.
I've told you before that the way he plays reminds me a lot of the way you played, Chad. And I take that as the biggest compliment you can. Chad LaRose is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Another player that has certainly found his scoring touch lately is Andrei Svechnikov. If you could, what are the differences you think in Andrei's game from the regular season to where we see him now?
I think he's been more around the puck, but his physicality, but I think he's shooting it more. And I know he likes to shoot, but I think he's been like engaged right away, like in the whole game, like every aspect, like even the face-off goal, you know what I mean? Jumping and Carlson's not ready. Like Svech sometimes, all of us, right, are like that.
Yep.
And he's been jumping on his toes. And he makes the right plays, and he's got a rifle of a shot. So, he's been awesome. And that confidence of finding the back of the net as much as he has is just gonna continue to grow,
That play that he made against really, I don't know why you would be surprised if you were John Carlson, but he was either surprised or just, I don't know, thinking about something else. I really don't know. But that to me, that was the play of the series. Because it was,
I'm with you.
Washington was, for the first 30 minutes of that game, Washington was the better team. It was still 0-0. But to me, that play changed the series. Andrei's been that way, and of course he scores the goal that puts you ahead to stay in Game 5. Do you look at him as one of those players who's a series-changing player?
Yeah, I do, for sure. And I think that's the thing with him. I mean, it could take one shift and you're like, holy cow, dude. And he's got 2 goals in a shift or something. But, those little things that people don't see and like thinking, oh, it's a face-off of blah, blah, blah. And he's ready on his toes like that, changed that whole entire game. That was that just jumping right there off that face-off and getting a goal. Anybody who's not on their toes, you saw what happened to the other guy who wasn't. So those little things, I think, become a little more magnified right now.
Yeah.
And that good, I think that suits the Carolina Hurricanes well because they do a lot of really good little things.
You have played for the other head coach. Your thoughts on Paul Maurice as a head coach?
Oh, man, I love Paul. He was one of my favorite coaches of all time. Really dry sense of humor and honest and, kept it light with us, but was a really good coach. He knew how to get things out of us. I think we overachieved on a lot of stuff with him. And, I love Paul. I had a great relationship with him. I'm glad he won last year because I have no feelings for him at all right now. but hey, you know how it goes. But Paul's a great coach, and man, he was really big for me in my career. And I loved his dry sense of humor and his honesty, and always kind of made you give a little more with his comments and stuff. So,
all right, Chad LaRose, a couple of more things, then we'll let you go about the rest of your day. Give me a player or two that you feel like we've already talked about Andrei, but another player or two you feel are going to tip the balance in the favor of Carolina.
Jordan Staal. Jordan Staal. I think that line alone. I think Carrier would be a little heavy, but I think Martinook and Staal will be. I thought about this morning. I thought you were going to ask me, and I think they're going to be a difference making group. Not only just in their 5-on-5 play, their defensive play and chipping in. I think their penalty kill. Hopefully we stay out of the box, but I think sometimes Florida go chin sometimes. But I think they're going to be big for us in the series.
Staal scores a big goal in game number 5, right? He gets Carolina going. He gets the first goal in game number 5. My guess is that line will draw the assignment against Barkov and Reinhart, and I guess whoever's playing with them, it's been Evan Rodriguez lately, as opposed to Bennett and Tkachuk, and whoever's playing, I guess, for Hagee there. It's just my guess is that they put Staal against Barkov. big body against big body. Although Sam Bennett is also a big body. When you've watched the Panthers, are you surprised that Brad Marchand is now once again one of the best players in the NHL?
No, man. I think it's kind of cool he's been this long and doing it. Yeah, I think the guys he's playing with, they found a good mix. I think Paul found a good mix with Luostarinen and Lindell. But I think at the end of the day, these teams are matched up. I mean, the high-end guys are high-end guys, and they play hard. I think for Carolina, it's good because some teams don't take when Florida's jabbing with them and stuff like that, they don't take the high road. They come back at Florida and they take penalties. And I don't think Carolina's like that. I think Rod has them where they can take a punch to the face, and I think that's going to benefit us too.
Is there in some ways a good preview, a good practice series? I hate to call it a practice series because Washington wants to draw you into that too.
100%.
Right.
And you saw that. You saw that early on with Wilson and all those guys going at it and grabbing guys immediately and getting in their face. And you saw, I mean, there was just no retaliation. I've talked about it a few times with guys around here. I just said Carolina's not going to jump into that stuff. They're not. They're going to just walk away, and you're not going to really be able to get them into going to two-hand slashing you after you punch them and stuff like that, and taking a bad penalty. So I think that benefits us. I think that's just how they're coached, Carolina. I think they're Roddy and their whole coaching staff and Gleason and Jeff Daniels. I think that they preset stuff in there. What are we talking about here? A punch to the face. We've all been punched in the face. We'll be okay. So,
all right, sir. You want to make a prediction?
Tonight, Carolina 3-1.
3-1 tonight. And the series?
Series, I think, in 6 in Florida we win.
Whoa. You've been part of that. All right, sir. I appreciate your time. Always, Chad LaRose. We will talk again soon, my friend.
All right. Thanks, Adam. Have a good day.
You got it.